Who was crazy until they were right all along? My neighbor Serafina Delacroix started acting weird 3 months ago. She'd stand at her window for hours, writing down license plates of every car that drove by. She'd knock on my door at random times asking if I'd seen the van with no windows. Everyone on our street thought she was losing it. Serafina was 78, lived alone since her husband died, and we all figured grief was making her paranoid. She'd call the police twice a week reporting suspicious vehicles and people watching her house. The cops knew her by name. Officer Blackwood would show up, look around, find nothing, and leave with an eye roll. I felt bad for her. My wife would bring her soup and try to change the subject when she started talking about being followed. Then Serafina started leaving notes on car windshields. She'd slip out at dawn, checking every vehicle parked overnight. Neighbors complained she was harassing visitors. The mailman found her measuring tire tracks in her driveway with a ruler. She installed motion cameras around her porch. When delivery trucks stopped, she'd rush outside taking photos. Amazon drivers started refusing to deliver to her house. Pizza places blacklisted her address after she interrogated 3 different delivery guys. Serafina began following cars on foot. She'd walk 6 blocks behind vehicles, writing frantically in her notebook. Kids started crossing the street to avoid the crazy lady with the spy book. Parents whispered warnings about staying away from her house. She started calling my phone daily with urgent updates. Each call lasted exactly 12 minutes. She'd describe car colors, driver descriptions, passenger counts. I'd listen politely while folding laundry, making grocery lists, doing anything to distract myself from her rambling theories. Serafina cornered my teenage daughter Zara after school. She grabbed Zara's arm, demanding to know if anyone had offered her rides or asked personal questions. Zara came home crying, saying Serafina seemed really scared about something bad. I marched over to confront her. Serafina answered the door holding binoculars and 3 different notebooks. Her kitchen table was covered with printed photos, maps marked with red circles, and phone numbers written on sticky notes. She'd been sleeping in her living room to watch the street better, but as I watched her explain, I noticed she was pointing to completely different houses than the ones in her photos. "They're mapping our neighborhood," she whispered, pointing to surveillance photos she'd somehow taken. Same cars, different times, always checking house numbers. Her hands shook as she showed me detailed charts tracking vehicle patterns across 6 different streets. I was about to tell her she needed professional help when Serafina's phone rang. She answered immediately, speaking rapid French. Her face went pale. She hung up and looked at me with terrified eyes. "My sister Celeste just called. They tried to grab her granddaughter outside school today. Same blue van. Last Tuesday." Serafina called me crying. "They took pictures of my house again. The blue van." I wrote down the plate number. This time I didn't sigh. I walked over immediately. She showed me this thick notebook filled with license plates, times, and descriptions. Pages and pages of detailed notes. "Look," she said, pointing to the same van listed 17 different times over 2 months. I was about to ask more questions when my phone buzzed. News alert. Local human trafficking ring busted. My blood went cold. The article showed police arresting 3 men. Their vehicle? A blue van with the exact license plate Serafina had been tracking for months. Turns out they'd been using her quiet street as a meeting spot to exchange victims. Serafina's paranoid observations helped police map their entire operation. The detective called her a hero. 12 women were rescued because Serafina never stopped watching.